Welcome to RHI Stories of Courage, Hope, Attitude, and Inspiration. My name is Wendy Waldman, and I am the Brain Injury Continuum Outreach Manager here at the Rehabilitation Hospital of Indiana and the President of the Brain Injury Association of Indiana. I'm really happy to be here today to speak to two of my colleagues, Valerie and Stephanie. We're going to talk a little bit about the Academy of Certified Brain Injury Specialists, or the acronym is ACBIS. Both Valerie and Stephanie have achieved the certification of Certified Brain Injury Specialist. So I want to talk a little bit about that and what that means to each of you in your roles here at RHI. Just for an overview, the mission of the Academy of Certified Brain Injury Specialist is to provide education, training, and certification, as well as ongoing resources for specialists in the brain injury community. The vision of ACBIS, or Academy of Certified Brain Injury Specialist, is to strive to improve the quality of care for individuals with brain injury. This is a voluntary certification program for both direct care staff and professionals that I actually am a Certified Brain Injury Specialist trainer for. The Certified Brain Injury Specialist credential is for individuals that assist people with acquired brain injury and have a certain number of paid hours doing that. So just to get into a little bit more about each of you, we'll start with Valerie. So what got you interested in the Certified Brain Injury Specialist certification?
Well, I started here in 2019, and here is Northwest Brain Injury Center. So obviously, most of what we do in terms of our patient care is working with those who've had brain injury. And part of what sets physical therapists, which I am a physical therapist, apart from just another physical therapist in the brain injury community, is having this ACBIS credentialing. And so it was really important for me to not only go through the training and to acquire the knowledge and education provided through the American Brain Injury Association, but also to set myself apart in getting certified.
Awesome. So Stephanie, so in your case, would you tell us what your role is here at RHI's Northwest Brain Injury Center in general?
Yes. So I'm a psychometrist, which means that I administer neuropsychological testing to patients who may have had traumatic brain injury or acquired brain injury of some type, although sometimes may not have brain injury at all. We just administer neuropsychological testing, batteries under a neuropsychologist.
So Stephanie, what got you interested in the Certified Brain Injury Specialist certification?
Yeah, so I became interested in it. This is my third year working here at the Northwest Brain Injury Center. And through working with our patients and families here, I became interested in the ACBIS certification to get a more well-rounded understanding of our patients and the types of things that they're going through, the injury that they're going through, the symptoms that they might be experiencing, what their families are going through, all kinds of different things. And so to have a more well-rounded knowledge of the things that they are going through at this time.
So Valerie, you got your certification in March of 2020. So now that you are in that position and that you have that certification, how are you utilizing the knowledge that you learned in your everyday role as a physical therapist?
So it is every day that I use the knowledge and the skills that I acquired through the training and certification process. You were an excellent trainer, by the way. So knowledgeable, really, and really grateful that you were there to take us through that process. Where I use that knowledge is both in my PT plan of care, so determining what the patient's prognosis might look like. I also am able to use that knowledge in referrals. If there are other things going on, either medically, or psychologically, where maybe a referral is needed, then I'm able to more effectively make the referrals as needed through this knowledge. I'm also using the tools that I get from the certification and the continuing ed to maintain the certification in educating patients and families. I think that was mentioned before, but that is huge. The patients oftentimes aren't able to effectively communicate, and the families don't necessarily fully understand what they're going through. So to give them an idea, to give them a picture of what the recovery process looks like, what the next 4 to 5 to 6 months is going to look like is really important for the folks that we work with.
All right, Stephanie, so same question for you. How are you using the knowledge that you have acquired and maintained since you became certified? Although I know you just got your certification in April, but you've been studying and looking into this for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like in the same way that I use it also every single day. As you mentioned, we may be testing in the testing office for 4 to 6 hours, and so being in that room with the patient, I feel so much better equipped to really be able to handle or experience any sort of behaviors or symptoms or any of those things that the patient may exhibit, and also to better answer any questions that the family may have after testing, or that the patient sometimes has, throughout the day, or things like that. And so I just feel so much more equipped to really understand those things and to be able to answer questions.
Awesome. So last question, girls. So now that you've both got this certification and you're maintaining it, can you each, or can one of you, or whoever wants to can you think of an example when you have used it, when it has come in handy in working with someone, Val?
There's so many examples. Oftentimes it tends to be citing the statistics of brain injury, whether that be the increased fall risk or the dangers of substance abuse after brain injury. Even just giving people more of an understanding and an awareness of the likelihood someone who has brain injury will have seizures and what that looks like along the continuum of care. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Val, for your answer. And Stephanie, the same question to you. How do you, can you give an example of how you use this every day? And I can tell you that as our offices are next to each other, I can hear you doing good education and kind of normalizing for people what they're dealing with when they confide in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is really what it comes down to. As many patients coming into the testing environment have a lot of anxiety or a lot of concern about what it's going to show or what it's going to mean for them. And so I feel like I feel very good about being able to educate them on how each brain injury is so individualized and they're not all the same, and just using my ACTIS training to really drive that home with them has really prepared me a lot for that.
Great, awesome. So one thing that I am really proud of here at RHI is that this year RHI has become an ACTIS Alliance, and the first ACTIS Alliance in the state of Indiana. What that means is this is a public recognition that we applied for and received for brain injury service providers or designated facilities to have achieved the benchmark of having at least 20% of our staff eligible, nationally certified as a certified brain injury specialist or a certified brain injury specialist trainer. And we well exceeded the 20% here at RHI, and we plan to maintain this with new staff that come in, as brain injury is one of our specialties and expertise here at RHI. So I'm very happy to announce that we are now an ACTIS Alliance. So thank you, Valerie and Stephanie, for sitting here and chatting with me and for talking about the certification that you both received. I appreciate your passion and your care and the services that you both provide and the willingness to provide the top level of care. We are very thankful here for the RHI Foundation. The foundation actually paid for the certifications that we have and for the certifications we are maintaining here at RHI. So thank you so much, RHI Foundation. We want to thank RHI for having us, and thank you all for sharing in RHI stories of courage, hope, attitude, and inspiration. And have a